Hey, I'm Nick.
Hey, I'm Vinny.
You're listening to the Power Dump Podcast.
Let's talk some shit.
Clap, clap, clap your hands.
I got the clap and I'm giving it to you.
Everyone's got AIDS.
Okay, and
Everyone's got the AIDS.
and we're good.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hold on, I have to push record.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good.
Oh,
Okay.
you sure?
And 3, 2, 1.
Holy shit.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Technical
guys.
difficulties. We got homie Josh back on.
Hello.
We didn't say Eric this time.
Hello.
What to do, Josh?
All right.
What to do?
Yeah. So sooner than later, we had some extra time. We're doing it on a different day today, but Josh got work done today, so I was able to bring him in back to the podcast.
I'm back.
Back in black.
I'm back and better than ever.
He's ready.
I'm ready.
You want to scoot in just a little bit?
Yeah,
over this
I can
way?
scoot, like
Just
this
see
way?
People, yeah. So people
Oh,
can-
yeah.
See people can see your glorious face.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time it works.
You guys look-
We had some technical difficulties last time.
You guys look cute together.
Thanks.
Do we?
Yeah.
Nice.
What that pee-pee do?
Are you feeling out now that you don't have a beanie on?
Yeah. Oh, I kind of want to go get one.
Yeah.
Maybe you gotta get one.
How about
All
if I just put my hood on?
Yeah,
Is
there
that-
you go.
So I got to watch the
I
new
had too much going on. Sorry.
Roadhouse movie last night with Conor McGregor.
How was it?
Actually, kind of fucking entertaining. It's not going to beat the original because nothing can beat the original, in my opinion. But Jake Gyllenhaal did a pretty good job with the movie. A lot of CGI effects in it, but I would definitely tell people it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Wait, he produced it?
No, well, no.
No?
I think it had something to do with some of it,
Oh,
but
okay.
basically,
Alright.
yeah.
I just,
He did a good Dalton.
Rocha was watching, I just seen Conor McGregor's face. I didn't know.
Conor McGregor was Dalton.
No, he was
Jake Gyllenhaal
he was a
was
bad
in
guy.
Dalton.
Yeah.
Who played Elliot, the old guy? Sam Elliott's
If this
character.
is basically like a spirited like reimagining of it, basically.
So it's like loosely based.
Loosely.
Was it still at the Double Deuce?
Nope.
No.
No,
No.
it's basically the bar is called the Roadhouse, and it's
Oh,
in a
shit.
spot in Florida by the Keys. So,
The original was the Double Deuce.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
they've changed quite a bit to
It's like two
to all
people
of this.
shitting next
There
to each
is-
other.
yeah. Right, the double D. Had a conversation. Yeah.
Under the stalls.
Fucking, it's
Yeah.
an Olympic. It's an Olympic sport. It's gonna be tandem shitting.
Oh, I'd be fucking first place with that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's worth a watch. So I'd say it's not disappointing. Just don't expect it to be like any better or any. Just go into it just open minded.
It's not like the Top Gun remake.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna. Yeah,
That
it's not
that,
gonna
that one
rewrite.
did well.
Yeah, it's not gonna rewrite shit. So it's just it was what it was. I mean, you need this. I don't want to say too much to give it too much away, but there's some things like reminiscent stuff from the very first one with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
There's some.
Swayze dog.
Yeah, there's.
That's what he calls himself. Swayze dog.
Did you watch Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
Swayze.
When he was dying, he deemed himself the Swayze dog for like the last couple years of his life.
Yeah. The damn
I'll tell you what.
testicle cancer will get you.
He was a beautiful son of a bitch.
I mean, he was a pretty man. He really
He's
was.
a pretty man.
He was.
He's got a brother that tried to dip into acting after he passed away.
Really?
And he was on True Blood and stuff, and it was just kind of like, it just looks like a weirder version of like Patrick Swayze.
He was on True Blood.
Yeah, he was one of the werewolves.
Swayze
Huh.
dog,
Go
too.
back and watch it. It's Patrick Swayze's. I can't remember if it's an older brother.
But then
or
you
younger
have to
brother.
watch True Blood.
I mean, it wasn't horrible.
Okay, the first few seasons were
Twilight.
great.
Is he like
Yeah.
a less talented Patrick? You know, like Gallagher's brother?
He did look just like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Gallagher's brother like tried to steal some of his shine and like.
He
guess
did
they
steal
had a big
some of his
debate.
thunder. I think like Gallagher actually had to sue his ass.
Yeah, he did.
And
I
then
think
he
his
died.
name's like Ed
and
or
then-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch all the True Bloods.
Yeah.
And
There's a couple hot chicks on there that I'm just kind of like,
Oh.
I would definitely kiss them on the mouth.
yeah,
Kisses.
Jessica, Jessica, the redhead, was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can get it right in her fire crotch, right?
I'd have sex with her, but I think I just did.
No.
No, I don't know. I liked Anna Paquin in it, I guess, as Sookie.
That gap tooth bitch. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
She
Talking
she was Rogue in the original
Yeah,
X-Men movie,
yeah.
not original,
Oh
but
yeah, okay.
Their acting got better as the show progressed.
it did.
That first season was rough to get through.
My favorite character in the whole show was Lafayette.
Yeah, actually, he's supposed to die. From what I understand from the books.
Alcoholism.
Well, no, he died in real life.
In
Yeah,
real life?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he drank himself to death. But I think his character is supposed to die pretty, like, I think within the first season or two, because in the books he actually died. But people loved his character, and he did that character so
Yeah.
well that they kept him throughout the whole thing.
Right.
Yep.
That's crazy. You die in real life when you're supposed to die on the show.
My favorite scene in the whole movie, in the whole series, was
Him twerking.
when those homophobes came in and they ordered the burger, and they're like, they knew that he was gay, so they're like, hold the AIDS, and he came out.
Hold the AIDS.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's like, you
That's
order
racist.
food in my house, you're gonna eat it how I make it, bitch.
Yeah.
And then he beat the
smacked him
shit
with
out
it.
of all
Yeah,
of
he
them. It
smacked
was
him up.
fucking great.
Yeah. No, that character, he was great.
Yeah.
I kind of felt sad to know that he kind of couldn't get past his addictions and stuff after that show ended.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Dixon's a motherfucker, man. It gets-
Bill and
it
Sookie are
gets
married
people.
in real life.
They
I didn't-
can't kick it.
Yeah. It sucks.
Dude, it's rough. I mean, I've never struggled with it personally, but I've watched plenty of people do
Yeah.
it. But I couldn't imagine having to deal with that like while you're in like the limelight like that. Like you got to just assume it drives you even farther,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, there's all the stuff we talked about earlier about all the Nickelodeon kids.
Yeah,
all that
dude.
shit that's
That
happening
shit
with
is-
those
Yeah.
guys.
Fucked up.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of this stuff, but the shit that people have been telling me about Amanda Bynes and all those people, man,
Yeah, dude.
that sounds fucked.
She got fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked
Like,
up, dude.
Yep.
She was on the verge of Brittany Baldhead fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Serious.
she did tattoo her face and got
Yeah,
all
dude.
fucked up.
Yeah. I mean,
Just pulled an Eric Carter.
I mean, at this point too, especially like parents, like you gotta like see the chain, right? All childhood actors just seem to be fucked up in some way. Like, why subject your kid to that?
Plus, you have to ask yourself, what kind of person gets a tattoo?
Tattoos are dumb.
Especially on their face.
Yeah, especially you've done tattooing on both of us within the last 72 hours. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Both of you.
You're
Both of these, like, I'm in the
Both of you
middle.
you'll stick anybody a
Right.
slut.
For cash, maybe.
I'll do a lot for money, baby.
So we were just talking about phones and the
Phones,
advancements in sounds and phones and stuff. And
Yeah, it's crazy.
I noticed that the speakers on, even like I've got that Galaxy Fold,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's got a
You
good
trust
speaker
that thing?
too. I've had it for like 2 years, man.
Ain't nothing, no problems.
The only problem with it is, dude, it pisses me off.
I can't believe the screen bends.
It doesn't open all the way anymore.
Yes,
It got some
that would drive
crud.
me insane.
It got some crud in the
Yeah.
hinge, and it won't open
So
all
it
the way.
used to open all the way.
Yeah, it opened flat, dude. Now that's it.
No
And
fucking way.
so now I just,
it's like one of those like really hard brand new books. You can't just like completely separate so
Yeah.
you can see all the way inside the book. I hate that shit.
I read
Dude.
it once.
What are books?
Yeah. One time, my brother's friend Mike, this is really funny compared to books. He was like trying to get him to play video games. I mean, he was pretty little, but he was like, "Oh, I want to read books," and he was mad. And he was like, "Why would you want to read anyway? Reading's for rich people." I swear to God, he said it. That's fucked up.
So
Oh
You're a
my
kid, You're
god.
supposed to encourage him.
well,
Shit,
it always it's always driven me nuts to hear people say like I fucking hate reading. It's like, dude, you have to do it every day of your fucking life.
Right.
Why do
I
you
don't
hate it so much?
love like sitting and reading books. I'm much more of a listener guy.
I
I'll listen to
love
an audiobook.
listening.
Those have advanced so much and so well
Right.
over the years now. That,
I- I like listening to some sci-fi books like Armada and
Right.
Ready Player One. Will Wheaton did the narrating on them or
Okay.
reading on them,
Yeah.
and I use the Libby app. It's you download Libby by Overdrive,
Right.
and you just plug your actual library card information in there, and you can check the
Whoa.
books
That's
out.
a genius idea,
Interesting.
actually.
Huh.
That's a good way to keep people in gauged in that, because library cards. I mean, how many people have library cards but will never go to the library?
I can't remember the last time I have actually had a fucking library card.
Dude,
It's
it's
been-
been since I've
Probably
been like
since
a
high school.
child.
Yeah.
I didn't until I found out that I could do this. Natalie
I
told
mean-
me, my wife, she's a fucking nerd.
My girlfriend reads all the fucking
Yeah.
time too, man.
My wife reads. I still read. I mean, I'm still trying to get through that
I
damn
like
book.
reading books. I like reading books
Comic book, son.
that are like
Well, I
like
stopped getting that shit.
about music and things like that. Like I got a lot of like what they call like table books. You know, a lot of pictures with like shit, informative stuff, all that. Sitting and reading the story, as ignorant as it is, my brain tells me what else could I be doing instead of doing this. I just can't focus on like a book long enough for whatever reason. But like I'll listen to somebody. I like, you know, listen to stories and stuff like that. So like I can listen to a book easy. It's just sitting and reading it. My brain's like, nah, man.
Anybody that knows me or has listened to this knows that I have pretty bad ADHD.
Do you?
And so that makes it tough.
I feel like I get good focus on the stuff I like. I just don't think I like to sit and read.
I never break concentration when I masturbate.
No, I'm focused, man. I'm in.
Actually, it gets worse. I'm trying to scroll to find the right poem at the butt. I can't speak. That's all the C4 I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, dude, you fucking went nuts. That's what I was like, I can't remember the last time I seen something with those.
I keep scrolling through like the perfect moment on the video and stuff. Where it's just like, all right, I can finish now.
Watching sketchy things.
That's just me.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what it's like watching porn on one of those 3D TVs. I wonder, like,
does it work?
You see it fucking wad flying at you, and you go to look like in the.
Would
Matrix.
it work?
I don't know, man.
Because don't those things have to be formatted?
I think you got to have.
The cameraman's really getting hit.
Yeah.
Dude, my friend Ratcliffe had a 3D TV for a while. He bought it, and I think he eventually got rid of it. You know, because they kind of stopped making that shit.
You'd have to film it on a special camera, probably.
Well, you have to. Like, I remember there was a fad there. Fuck, what years were those? Like 9, 10. I remember there was a ton of TVs that were like, oh, you got to get the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge
thing.
Yeah,
he bought a TV for that.
Died. Like,
completely went away.
Yeah, completely stopped.
The movies were cool though. I don't know. Did you guys go see any 3D movies?
I think what the fuck was last? There was one movie I went and see that was the 3D, and I was just like, that was it.
I don't know. I took Thunder was really little at that time, you know. So I took him to see like what was that first Ninja Turtles remake, the Michael Bay one, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it he that did it? I think.
I think so.
That was 3D.
I hated. There was probably 2 to 3 different movies that did the whole. We're gonna fly down the side of a mountain, and everything's so fucking blurry, you're not able to really focus in on anything. Right. There was like probably like 4 or 5 movies.
I thought it was cool because, like, for a little kid, I mean, I heard a bunch of people digging on it. They're like, "This movie sucks." I'm like, "It's written for little kids, not your 30-year-old ass." Like, that's why. I mean,
I just Googled.
Same with Rio. That movie was wild in 3D.
I did an internet search and I said, "Is there 3D porn?" And
there's got to be, dude.
Yeah, and there's a Reddit.
I don't even know why I doubted that.
Oh, interesting. So I did actually get one of my clients that's an avid reader, Chad, which eventually we'll get him on the show. Chad, listening, make some time, dude. But he sent me a message on social media that somebody did find gay midget porn.
Gay midget porn.
Gay midget porn.
Yep.
There's like 2 gay midgets.
Two gay male midgets at it. I guess it was one of the. I didn't look at the video yet just to confirm. I probably should go back and try to find it and confirm that it's real.
There's a field for everything.
Yeah. Well, because like for the longest time, I couldn't find it. I could find like regular dude, regular dude on like a midget and stuff, but like 2 actual like gay midgets.
Oh,
like,
gay midgets. Yeah, okay.
Because you can find like tons of like midget porn out there.
Sure.
But
here's the next thing I'm thinking about though. Like they got porn when we were kids was stealing nudie mags, you know, and looking through them. But and then everybody got their porn on like DVDs.
Right.
In fact,
there was like HBO and shit like that.
Yeah, and then Skinamax After Dark. But and everything's been like huge advancements, and not just in porn, but any movie. But the reason that I'm singling out porn here is because what kind of crazy fucking porn are people gonna make with AI?
Oh yeah, dude,
it's gonna be nuts.
Well, yeah, because they have like that, like anime porn, right? Where there's like cartoons having
hentai. That's actually been around forever. It's been around since the 80s and stuff.
That's why a lot of people get into anime.
Yeah,
they're like, oh yeah, the cartoon
tentacles.
Tentacles going up all orifice of that cheerleading whatever gutter slut.
I like that. I like that hookup.
Yeah, right.
It's always in a locker room.
So,
I think there is a bunch of images and stuff that are starting to pop out of people using AI stuff to like make chicks that are like in their like late 50s to like 70s, like hot grandma looking chicks with no stretch marks that, like.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
AI is going to change.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're making images that look like full-on porn and stuff, but it's totally fake.
Watch the movie Fifth Element again. We're heading that direction.
Man, that movie is great.
It is.
It really is.
I'm so glad that they haven't redone that fucking movie.
Dude, that's one they can't touch. they will, but
so on like the retouch and stuff. We just watched also. Well, I just watched it. The Beetlejuice 2 trailer.
Yeah.
They didn't really show shit, but man, excited.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Super excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a very physical and emotional love with that movie.
Yeah, did a full sleeve on your arm.
I have I have Michael's face on my fucking arm and hand for the rest of my life.
Yep.
Come for your daughter, Chuck.
Yeah, dude. I was telling Nick today where we're getting on work. It legitimately, I wasn't like really taking it serious or anything like that. You know, kind of because it's just you don't want to be disappointed. You know, what I mean, especially when it's something you love like that. And it's been like 37 years since they did the last movie, right? But when I seen at the end of it, I seen a picture the day before. But when I seen Michael Keaton done up as Beetlejuice at the end of it, I fucking cried, and I don't know why, but it just hit me, and I was like, because there's been so much attachment to that, like him dressed up like that whole movie. It was like a good escape for me as a kid from my childhood and things like that.
Well, we never thought that we'd see another one. I mean,
I just was like, okay, it's over with. And then like the remakes that they've talked about for years always sounded stupid.
I'm so glad it never happened. I'm so glad it never happened.
Would you say it's your favorite movie?
You know, it's weird. I would say, I would have to say, yeah, it's my favorite movie. But I don't actually feel like it is my favorite movie. It's one of those things that's like
you would never shut it off if it was playing.
Yeah, I have it like on Laserdisc. I have all platforms. I just collect things of it and all that. It's just something. It's like kind of like, you know, like how my attachment was like, say, even like the Ultimate Warriors. It's like I like him, but he's not my favorite wrestler. It's like I love Beetlejuice, but that's like a no-brainer. And so it's like, what's your favorite movie aside from that?
Mine's The Crow.
The Crow, yeah, dude. The Crow is a fucking awesome.
That was the second segue that I was going to get into that. So,
nice.
If anybody hasn't seen it, there's a trailer, and actually quite a pretty long, in-depth trailer.
It is
the new Crow movie with Skarsgård, the guy that played Pennywise and It, and
Bill?
a few other.
Yeah, Bill.
Yes. So I'm not gonna lie. There's things about it that I hate, but it actually looks like a good fucking movie.
Dude, some of the shit looks fucking tight. Like the blood, the gore, and all that is like newer. Yeah, that shit looks cool.
The fight scenes, I think they took a lot of notes from the John Wick films.
Right.
It looks like John Wick meets the Crow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it for certain things like that. I noticed that there's no kid.
So far, you're right. So far, I haven't seen any trailer or anything with the little girl at all.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Another, and she was even in like the second City.
Yeah,
of Angels
like the City of Angels one.
She was in that too?
I think it was even the same girl. Yeah.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
I didn't see the third one because I was like, someone told me don't look at it.
Yeah. Well, then there was another one with fucking Edward Furlong. That was way later.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did a movie.
Yeah,
he did a Crow movie.
That's like equivalent to Home Alone 5. Who
it
knew
was
that they
so
made that
bad.
one?
That guy should have just stopped after Terminator 2.
Yeah.
That movie that's another one of my top 5s.
Yeah, that's a great movie. But no, man, it's still, I brought it up once before in another podcast, but Pecker. You haven't seen the John Waters movie, Pecker?
No.
I have not.
Oh, you haven't seen it either? It's got Christina Ricci in it.
Oh, really?
The chick that was in Goonies, the one with the glasses.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that girl's name is.
I know her name was, oh, shit. She's in Raising Hope.
Yeah. So it's got a really good cast and everything. There's so much going on with that movie. I mean, Edward Furlong, it's when he's still like young and fit.
Oh yeah.
He's got this little girl that's like super addicted to sugar. And he's a photographer.
Right.
And then halfway through the movie, they get her they switch her brain up to where she doesn't eat a bunch of sugar and shit anymore.
Oh, okay.
Like candy bars and sugar and stuff, because she'll like sneak into the kitchen.
What a
and
terrible
eat
life.
handfuls of sugar.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what a terrible life.
Well, they got her addicted to healthy foods, so like peas and carrots and shit like that. They catch her like in a scene where like she's snorting peas and shit. It's so fucking funny, dude.
Whoa.
Christina Ricci owns a laundromat, and there's like a bunch of random shit that's happening in the laundromat. And so Pecker basically,
like the Studs and Duds.
Yeah, he gets famous for all these photographs and stuff, and he gets like super famous.
Huh.
Got a grandmother that's crazy that thinks that this statue of the Virgin Mary is alive and stuff and speaks, where it's her mouth puppeting the fucking
She's on
thing.
drugs, that's what that
is. The whole movie's hilarious, and I think it was the first movie that introduced the term teabagging.
Oh, the term?
Yeah. Well, like not the term itself, but like the term.
Yeah.
The concept of what
it is.
Really funny because she was a bartender at Gay Male Strip Club. bar. And she was the bartender.
No, there's plenty of tea bags to go around there.
So, but
might as well call them at the coffee shop.
Yeah, there's so many really funny like moments in the movie. It's a John Waters movie.
Yeah, okay, it's fun. It's twisted.
It's funny as shit.
It's twisted. He's got a wild sense of humor.
Yeah,
I think another one of my favorites that they're talking about redoing was, and I just had it. Shit. The Goonies for one.
They're gonna redo that one.
I heard
That's
that they might be making a new Goonies, but
I have like such a mental good story for a sequel to that, where the original cast are all still around. They could all still do this movie, but basically just to like hand off the story and introduce their kids. You know, have it where like Sloth unfortunately passed away because he had medical stuff obviously wrong with them.
Right.
But they can have it where it's like they all still live in the same area and shit, and their kids are basically taking over the Goonie squad, and then like maybe the ship returns or
neat little twist.
Yeah, or there's like another. There's like another
there's
story.
Been another movie that's kind of done that, right? Where like the people are older, but they're using their kids to like replace the story.
There's a ton of movies that are starting to do shit like that.
So. Well, another one that scares me though, I think, is another one of my top 5, and that's, in fact, it might be number 2. But the Lost Boys, they're redoing that.
They are gonna redo it. That could be sweet. How do you guys?
Apprehensive with that one because it's like either it's gonna suck really bad or it's gonna be really good.
It's hard to picture Lost Boys without Corey Haim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's a pretty pinnacle part of that movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like just like the look of it and stuff, you know, like it all kind of goes in hand, you know.
It was such a time period thing. I mean, like even like the Goonies. I mean, like it's gonna be really hard for me to even want to like and watch it. I mean, they did a really good job with this latest Ghostbusters movie. And this new one that's come out looks fucking sick.
Yeah, I haven't seen no trailers.
This trailer. That's good.
The first one Paul Rudd did, I thought was really.
That was
good.
great. It was a great movie. I think everybody's coming back for this new one. I think everybody's back in it.
Even that kid from Stranger Things did a good job.
He did. He did a good job. Yeah.
I hate him on Stranger Things, but
you know,
it's a little fucker, man.
It's weird. Like I'll watch a movie over a show. My maybe it's like the same thing with books. My interest for TV shows on a regular basis, non-existent. I never watch TV. Like literally. I watch movies and then sometimes like when I'm feeling lazy, me and my girlfriend will binge Ink Master. But other than that, dude, like she's a TV show watcher and all that. I'm just so occupied with like playing my instruments, doing other things and all that I just never sit down and watch TV, dude.
It's not a bad thing. Because I mean, dude,
it's not a bad thing, but like sometimes it's good because I need to chill the fuck out.
I eat that content up though, like especially when the Paramount Plus network got big with the Yellowstones and all the spinoffs and stuff and then they did Tulsa King, which isn't a spinoff, but it's still Taylor Sheridan.
So you like those ideas? You like when they take a movie and make like a spinoff, like
well, it wasn't a movie, but
but do you like when they do that? Like when they take a movie but then make like a show out of it instead, or even like a TV show.
I'm trying to think of some examples that.
Like I'm trying to think of like something I can.
Everything I can think of is a TV show that got made into a movie.
Yeah, into a movie,
like Firefly, or Serenity.
Right.
And I can't.
Yeah.
They did like The Crow. They did that Stairway to Heaven, and that was garbage.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see movies.
You guys ever watch that show Atlanta?
No.
That's one TV show I've actually sat down and watched.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool because it's Childish Gambino, or Donald Glover, I guess. I
like him.
Yeah, dude. It's like cool because not every episode. It's like okay. So my problem is that with shows is that you have to see the episode before that, and I just have no interest or desire to watch that. So I like Atlanta because every episode is kind of on its own. Like they use some of the similar characters. Like they have like characters like Paperboy and all those. And some
he was in Smallville, right?
What's that?
Donald Glover.
What's that?
He was in Smallville. He played Lex Luthor's dad.
Is it the one where he discovers, or he's trying to discover somebody for?
It's weird. It's like every episode is kind of like its own episode.
Yeah, but
kind of like that. What's that Black Mirror show? You know how like
that shit is crazy.
Every episode like is it standalone? That's kind of how it is.
Was he a hip hop guy or was it okay?
Oh yeah.
Because in the show though, was he trying to get like noticed or
in Atlanta?
Yeah.
No, that's this guy named Paperboy who's in a bunch of other movies. I can't think what that actor's name is, but he's been in a bunch of movies.
But he's basically trying to become like the P Diddy of like his manager, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did watch the first season of that. I just said it's been a while wants
there's
to
this
watch
there's
it.
this episode where they have a guy named Teddy, and you think it's Donald Glover in all the makeup and all that, and he looks like a creepy, almost like Michael Jackson like character, right? But they've had appearances with Teddy and Donald Glover in the same room, and it's scary.
Really?
Yeah, that guy looks fucking freaky, dude.
Hmm.
It's a wild episode. You should watch it. It's really fucking weird.
There's one guy that looks like that without even trying, and that's what is his name? He was in Boondock Saints.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dafoe,
Yeah. So okay, Teddy does kind of look like that. Now that I think about it, that's funny.
There's a lot of things that Defoe's done that I'm a really big
Yeah.
fan of his
Yeah.
acting. I'm a really big fan.
But he's kind of creepy looking.
He's got his moments for sure. It's like he's in the same category as like really good actors and stuff that has like a certain look that's just kind of, it has like a creepiness to him.
He does.
Same with oh my god, it's a wrong tone.
Fran Drescher.
No.
Oh yeah, Christopher Walken.
Yes, Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the
I
same
caught
kind
exactly
of.
what you meant by the wrong tone.
Yeah. It's a wrong tone.
What a great movie.
Stab you in the face with
Yeah,
soda
dude,
guy.
Joe Dirt's underrated movie. It's fucking great.
Never watched the second one.
I've
I
never
never-
watched the second one either.
I was
Talking
no
to my-
desire.
Talking to my
I
guy.
heard it
wrong.
was pretty
All
bad.
wrong.
I heard it was pretty bad.
I'm
It was
sure
bad.
was.
We tried watching it.
Really?
Natalie was telling you, wasn't
Yeah.
she? We went on vacation and we were we got done hanging out doing whatever we were out doing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to lay down and just relax for a little bit before we went back out for dinner.
Mhm.
And I put that movie on, and then I was like, well, I'm going to take a shower. I went and took a shower, came back, and she was watching something else. She's like, that was unwatchable.
Yeah, damn, you had to turn it off. That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, same with like Super Troopers 2. I never watched that one either.
I haven't
me
either.
neither.
Yeah, just didn't
There's
really-
just some things I just know to leave as is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just leave it alone.
I think all the sequels I like are sequels from when I was like a kid, and I just watched them without thinking about it, and then you realize they were good. Like,
yeah.
like my opinion, Wayne's World 2 is just as good as the first one.
that one was
It's
almost
fucking
a step
good,
above.
dude.
In some cases, they're better.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's better.
Case
Yeah.
in point, Terminator.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Judgment Day is far better than the first one. My opinion, anyway.
I'm trying to think if there's a sequel I can think of. I mean, if you were to call The Devil's Rejects a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, I
It
think that
kind of
one's
is,
technically
yeah.
better in my opinion. I do like a lot of the aesthetic, obviously, of the House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah, I just I'm one of those people. I'm one of the rare people that I think I favor a House of a Thousand Corpses over Devil's Rejects.
Dude, I love it. The aesthetic, everything, until they get to show you Dr. Evil. That shit bummed me out. I was like,
Third
this is,
installment was 3 from Hell, right?
yeah, I think so. I never actually watched that.
I didn't watch it either.
I haven't
have
seen it
anything to
either.
do
Devil's
with it
Rejects
yet.
sick, though.
I didn't like it.
didn't like
It
it?
went from a slasher film kind of horror to
Yeah.
a
This weird, like,
vigilante
outlaw movie
Yeah, it's a
almost.
vigilante movie.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just kind of like, this is.
I get what you mean on that, totally. It is like two
Completely
different vibes.
backwards from the other Quentin Tarantino movie with the Gecko brothers. From Dusk Till Dawn. That
Oh,
started
dude,
out as like a
sick
crime movie.
and then
and
turned
ended
into a
up
horror
being
movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
horror.
sick movie,
Yeah,
though.
love that
But,
movie.
oh yeah, it was, and
George
big-
Clooney in that movie is great.
big fan of Selma Hayek in that
Yeah.
movie doing her little
Oh, it's
dance.
kind of a breakout role. Besides
It is, dude.
El
That's like what
Mariacho
put her
or
on the
whatever. What was
fucking
that
map.
with?
Kind of my break my heart role is what that was.
Yeah, I love that movie as a kid. I always felt like that was a lot of people my age, at least when I was younger, because my brother would watch a lot of movies that they had no idea about that one. I'm like, it's a fucking legit movie, though.
Yeah.
I remember though when she changed and her head was all weird, but her body was the same. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'd still do it.
I let her bite the shit out
I'll
of me.
I'll take one for the team.
Yeah, jump on the grenade.
It's one of the better vampire movies. Would you consider it a vampire movie? Right?
Yeah, absolutely, it's
Yeah.
a vampire movie. It's campy, which I like. You could argue that there's other vampire movies that are better. Like, I think Interview with the Vampire is a wonderful movie.
I haven't seen the movie in so long. We were just talking about that because we were looking at a list of all the movies that came out in 1994, which is a stacked year for legendary movies, dude.
and then
Friday.
and then they get sci-fi with it. Look at Underworld.
Yeah.
You know,
Have you seen that movie 30 Days a Night? I think is what it's called.
a long time ago.
That's
yeah.
one of the best vampire movies, man. Mostly because they don't get like too fucked up. It's like believable, you know.
The comic was really legit.
Eric was the one that showed me that movie. That was cool.
In my opinion, the best vampire movie ever made was The Lost Boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just got a cool vibe. It was still like playing on like the modern youth of that day.
Mhm.
So Blade 2, I think, was better than the first one.
Blade's one of those things I've seen them both, but if you were watching a Blade movie, I couldn't walk in and be like, "Oh, this is 1 or this is 2."
Yeah.
They
well,
run together.
the second one was where the vampires like their face split open.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
like the Demogorgons.
I'm the same way. I couldn't tell you which one. I haven't seen them enough. I mean, I definitely know them, but I haven't seen them enough to know like, yeah, we're watching 2 or like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably be able to tell you 1 because I'd be more familiar with scenes like that. But yeah, vampire movies are cool. Horror movies in general are sick. So speaking of, like, we were talking about remakes, would you guys be into the idea of them remaking Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I think there's been talks about it. There's a video game coming out.
They'd need to tread lightly though, because I love that movie.
I do, but like think about the CGI of today and like the cotton candy like catacomb, like you
all
know,
of that stuff. Would
like
be
that shit
so
could be
better.
fucking sick nowadays. You know?
If there was enough money put behind it, and there wasn't then they did it good,
Yeah.
and right, it could be a stellar.
Right. I've always thought that
movie.
was one that like I really loved the first one, but at the same time I was like, if they remade it and they nailed it, it could be just as
I'm
fucking
just really
cool.
surprised that nobody's even attempted to.
Wait
I
a
know.
second.
Nobody has it.
Did you say they're making a video game?
Yes, there's an open world video game that's coming out of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What?
Oh, I
Yeah.
guarantee you I'll be playing that.
Yeah, that's fucking tight.
IGN has been like putting out some like feeler and like a lot of information out and stuff, and been talking about like, well, this game needs to be open world and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I think at some point, I think it kind of is.
So would you be the clowns or would you
I don't
be
know.
the dude?
I haven't really. I'm
chick?
kind of one of those games where I'm like hoping I'm just gonna let it come out and like the buzz go down and stuff, because
Right.
there's been an influx of like a bunch of horror genre games that are not what people are expecting.
Sure,
So like
sure.
the Jason Voorhees game, the
Whoa.
Friday the 14th game, and then like Evil Dead
Uh-huh.
were games that were. There are certain characters, and you have to go against one person that's the bad.
Yeah, they're all like Dead
Character.
by Daylight.
It's basically a Dead by
yeah.
Daylight game, and if
Right.
you're not familiar with that game, it's like there's a group of what
3 or 4.
5 or maybe
Yeah, maybe.
one person. It's a random, like almost like a coin toss of like who's going to be the bad guy. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, Jason.
Right,
The
right.
rest of you that are in the game that's playing it is going to be the survivors. You have to survive basically.
But
It's-
the bad guys are funny because like they make like the one guy look just like Freddy Krueger, but they can't call him Freddy, so his
Right,
name's
'cause it-
Nightmare. And then
Nightmare.
there's
That's-
like
Those are like bad wrestling gimmicks.
Leatherface. His name is like Chainsaw.
Chainsaw or something like that.
You know?
Yeah.
yeah, because they didn't have the rights for any of that stuff. But
Yeah.
A lot of people stream that game.
So Toast, one of the people that we're talking about having on, and she's agreed to do it. We just need to like sit down and like talk about how we're gonna have her on. So if it's either gonna be a Zoom or through Twitch or something, but
Yeah.
that'll be
that's
cool.
her game she streams. So
Really?
Still?
yeah, she plays
Damn.
the shit out of that game. So
Yeah, that's cool.
It's I tried playing it, man, and it was fun up until you have to fix these like generator things, and while you're fixing them, it takes a certain amount of time to fix them, and then something will come and kill you while you're fixing it, and then you have to start all over, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. I stick to sports games. I'm one of those guys, but I mean, some other video games are fun. Like
I got Helldivers.
that newest
did
Spider-Man
you actually
game.
play that?
I did up until like I made it through the tutorial on it,
Mhm.
and then I had to go. But I can already tell you it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And but the interface is pretty confusing for me for some reason.
Are you a PlayStation guy or Xbox guy? You got both. You don't favor one over the other. I mean, because it's like
would you PC over everything?
Would you PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son likes PC a lot.
The only reason I play on consoles at all is because I do like I like the idea of sitting on my couch watching the TV playing a game. Just takes me back to being a kid,
Sure.
you know. And
That's the thing I love most about a console is that it's like I still like I get in the mindset and enjoy the game like I'm a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then, but I don't know. I like
I love holding a controller like that,
Yeah.
like on like a TV with the console. You know?
even when I game on my
You use a controller?
PC, I'll use unless I'm playing like World of Warcraft. But
Right.
for the most part, yeah, I'll use an Xbox controller and then you could. But now, like if I want to stream something from my Xbox to my computer, I can
Right.
still do it.
Right.
Dang it, Randy.
I'm sorry,
You're good.
Fucking Randy, dude.
Randy.
So the first podcast we had you on, the big story about the old couple that was
The old couple having sex. Yeah.
yeah. I talked about it in one of the last episodes about what if the scenario was that there was a moment where everybody was like surrounding them in the bed, holding up flashlights, and that fucking "Requiem for a Dream" scenario.
Oh man, dude, that would have been something. I feel like I would have been a bit traumatized, or something like that.
Yeah, laughing and like putting like bags over your heads and just like cheering them on and stuff.
Dude, what a wild scenario. Just thinking about those people, I wish you guys could see a picture. Yeah. I'll never see them ever again in the rest of my life. But it was just a fucking weird scenario because they look like normal ass people.
The Utah people.
Yeah, until they got in their own environment, and then they were like, it was like a From Dusk Till Dawn moment, the fucking midnight hit, and they were like, we're gonna go.
Dad's hairy ass was wearing like leather straps and shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
His nipples pierced that you had no clue what he had done.
Fucking, that's so good.
He comes out with a.
Yeah, now you got me thinking about that.
The drummer comes in the room and starts smacking him on the ass with some pizza or something.
He comes
fucking.
He comes out wearing a banana hammock backwards.
Yeah.
Dude, I did have a banana hammock, but I don't think I ever wore it during tour. But I did have one. It's like a red zebra stripe.
Nice.
I'm the shit in the Jimmy series, and it's like. Never mind. The straps are clear. It's fucking. It's weird, dude. Yeah, like
that's so cool.
It's like stripe. You can see my skin through like the waistband. It's pretty funny. I still have it.
So besides that, the craziest moment. Is there any other?
There is. Okay, so I was kind of thinking about this that we were talking now. I started getting in the brain a little bit. I mean, there was like dumb shit that you would do on a regular basis, but I'm trying to think of like craziest moment. There was this time. So this is like less. Obviously, like sexual juicy, but we played a show, or we had an off day on the 4th of July in where was that? New Mexico? It had to be New Mexico. Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico. We had a day off on the 4th of July.
Okay.
And we stayed at this like Super 8 motel, and it was just like this shitty Super 8 motel. We were just because we had a day off. It's fucking hot as fuck down there. It's the desert. So it was like a way you could kind of hang out, get out of the heat and all that. They had a pool and whatnot. It's cheap, whatever. They didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was a rundown. But anyways, so we hang out for the day. We meet some dude that has like a pet parrot and like 2 doors down, and he films movies. That's what he does. He like is like a grip and stuff like that on set. I was talking about there was some movie they were filming or a TV show there. But he had this pet parrot that he would talk to, and he was like, it's basically like my road dog. And he was like, it's like my only friend. And it was like a fucking weird scenario. So we're pretty sure that he lived there instead of like, maybe he's just crazy and making up stories so they doesn't seem so lonely and weird. But anyways, so we met that guy, and I'm like, that's the weirdest thing we've come across so far and all that. We're hanging out. And then we go out on the night for the, like, they're downtown for the night or whatever. We got fucking hammered. We went to this gentleman's club, and there was like this like really, I mean, with all due respect, like overweight lady dancing to these like Marilyn Manson songs, and like some people were into it, some people weren't, and all that. It was a little uncomfortable because it's like a gentleman's club, so there's like 2 stages, and it's split in the middle, and it's just like there's no like stage. It's just like it looks like restaurant booths around the stage. And
was there soup in the back?
I don't fucking know. It was like dim.
I've been to a strip club. There was like a big like cauldron where there was like soup.
Yeah. Dude, this guy was like handing out tickets,
sad.
like free tickets outside. He's like, here's how you get in. And it was weird. So we leave that, and then we're driving. We're driving under the influence at this point. We're trying to find our way.
Stay away from the western half of the United States.
That's like I said, you roll into some weird things.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you do. You roll into some weird things in the western half. Everybody's too dehydrated.
You're close to the mountains or something.
Yeah, they're out of their fucking minds down
So
there.
you're leaving the strip club?
So we leave the strip club. We get in the van, and we're trying to drive to find the hotel. And this is back really before people had we had Google Maps on their phone at that point. You're using like the fucking GPS, and like in your van and stuff like that. We couldn't really remember what Super 8 it was and all that, so we're just kind of going by feel, even though we have no idea where we're at. We end up driving for a while. I'm driving at this point. We end up driving for a while, and we're like in this like sketchy neighborhood. And I go up to this fucking area in this neighborhood that looks kind of like a trailer park, and I come up to this fucking fence that says no trespassing, and it looks like a compound fence, like a junkyard. It says no trespassing, and it's like 2 a.m. at this point. I'm like, what the fuck you think is behind that fucking gate? And my buddy Matt Ratcliffe is in the van. He's like one of the only ones that's still coherent enough to like be awake. I was feeling fine. I quit way before everybody else because I seen everybody else stumbling. I was like, well, one of us has to be chill. I'm not killing all of us on the way home. I mean, it's not worth it. So we're like filling it out, and as I'm going to back, I was like, well, I'll just turn around or all that. I have no idea how I ended up at this fucking dead stop. As I go to turn around, there's these fucking like pit bull dogs biting at the tires of the van. I'll shit you not, and like some Dobermans, and I was like, where the fuck did these dogs come from? And then he was like, obviously we're not supposed to be here. We need to go. So then we leave, we back out. I dodge one of these dogs. We back out. We get out of there. We're driving down the fucking neighborhood, and I was like, I don't want to know what's going on back there. I'm sure we're not supposed to know. There's probably people watching us. Thank God we made it out of there, because it was a sketchy scenario, dude. I mean, we're talking like movie like set. So we get out. We're driving on the freeway. I'm going down the freeway for a while. We're obviously talking about how weird that was. And then as I'm coming up to this fucking street light, there's like, you see like what looks like flashers of people's like headlights like pointed at you and all that. I'm like, what the hell is like that? And you can kind of see them coming back and forth. You know, it's just like blinds back your face. And as I'm getting closer, there's tail lights stopped, and then they'll jolt off and all that. Like almost like, you know, like when a red light's flash and everybody kind of like slow stops and keeps going.
Sure.
As I get closer, there's like 4 or 5 people running in the middle of the street, like through traffic. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then as I get closer, I see these people, and I was just like feeling it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I floored it, right? And I was like, if anybody's in front of the van, I'm just going to fucking run them over. I know that's fucking wild, but I'm going to do it. And so I go for it. And as I go to, and as we're like kind of slowing down enough to get ready to go so I can get around this car, these dudes like fucking from these weird parked cars that are in between, like the way it's like hard to describe, like the way that the 4-way would go. They come out and they try to like basically like bum rush the van and all that. So I fucking peel off. I floor it. I miss this dude. And as I'm doing that, as I'm going past this dude and all that, he lifts up his shirt and he's got a fucking gun in his pants, and he pulls it out and he starts fucking firing shots. I don't know if it's at the van or in the air, but all I hear is gunshots. And I'm fucking driving low. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing? How do we get here? We fucking drive, and this is the only time that I will willingly stop and talk to police officers. But they were like flagging people down, and I pulled over, and I thought they were just like flagging us down to pull us over because I was definitely speeding, right? They pull us over, and I'm trying to be cool about it. Obviously, the van smells like booze because everybody's fucking hammered for the most part. And they pulled it out, and they're like, so what do you know about what's going on up there? And I was like, I don't know anything about anything. And they were just like, well, obviously you came from that direction and you're speeding. What's going on? And I was like, well, there's these dudes, you know, fucking carjacking people, basically, like a group of dudes easily. Because I seen like 3-4 guys on the street, but then when I turn around, there's like 14, 15 motherfuckers just hanging out. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, yeah, we've had reports of them like trying to hijack cars, like
so why the fuck
sticking,
are you guys here and
sticking
not
people
there?
up. And that's what I said. I was like, blah, blah, blah. He's like sticking people up and everything. We heard shots fired and all that. I was like, I felt like they were shooting at the van, whether they're shooting in the air or shooting at the van. And I was like, I'm not turning around or like looking back to know. I'm trying to get the fuck out of there. He was like, okay, what do you guys doing? I was like, we're a band on tour. We're just trying to get out, you know, back to our hotel. And I was like, I don't know where we're at. And then he's like, oh, take these roads. You'll get back to that Super 8 that you're talking about it was next to the minor league baseball field, the Isotopes or whatever. And then he was like, just be safe and all that. And I looked at him, and this is the only time I felt noble. I was like, nah, man, you be safe. You're the one that's got to deal with that shit. They got guns and shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and whatever. But I mean, I don't know really what happened much past that. But that was a time, dude. That was just, and that was honestly the same tour as the people that we ran into in Utah. That was just
this before or after the van broke down.
This is before. This was less than a week before we met those other people and all that.
Fuckers.
Yeah, the pig fuckers, dude. Like, I'm sure there's some other sketchy things that maybe happened on. I mean, we played a show with these like burlesque dancers in the middle of it. Like, we didn't know that was going to happen. We showed up to this place called Zombies in San Antonio, Texas. If you guys ever have a chance to make it there, it's like a cool bar. It's like a horror themed bar, so it's kind of like a haunted house but a bar at the same time. And there's been like tons of bands that have played there because they have a whole wall of those old promo pics of like, you know, like 9 Inch Nails and you know, tons of bands like that, Nirvana and all that have played there when they were up and coming, because that's how they used to have press kits back in the day. You would mail them these like black and white. They had that shit all over like the walls of the Ranch Bowl and everything like that. We played there, and we showed up, and there was like they were like, oh, this girl Allison, she was like, it's my birthday show, and I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. This is my tour that we're playing. I don't know what you mean by your birthday show. And she was like, well, we were the ones that booked it and all that. And we asked Justin. He was like, yeah, I talked to some girl, Allison. I thought she worked here, but she was really just like basically weaseled her way in to get a show so she could dance. He was like, this is my last time I'm dancing burlesque, but we're gonna have dancers in between every band and all that. I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't give a fuck, right? And so, but she was like, it'll be a unique show. And so we get there and we play, and the first girl that dances, her name is Mary Antoinette, kind of like a marionette, is like all that. But she's like this weird burlesque dancer where she's like eating fire and fucking swallowing swallowing knives and like chewing on razor blades and shit like that like during her thing. And then a way that you tipped her was that you would staple dollars to her. Like whatever money you wanted to. She's like, I got a staple gun. If you want to tip me, just come and staple it to me.
Are you sure she wasn't making a play on words with Marie Antoinette?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll bet she was.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, she has like
it's probably both those things.
Probably both of those things. But I popped up and I was like, fuck yeah. Like, this is my chance to do something.
Just staple it. Where'd you put the staple
Dude,
gun?
she was like, you can't staple my vagina. You can't staple my cheek. Right? But she was like, everywhere else is fair game.
Butt cheeks? Did you
No, dude, I stapled it. I tried to go for painful spots. I was like,
Sternum,
dude. I went sternum. I went collarbone, and I went fucking the back of the neck.
Should the back of the knees, man.
Dude,
you should write a horror movie. What the collarbone?
Dude,
Fuck.
collarbone. Yeah, dude, collarbone and sternum. Ow. But she took it like champ, dude. She easily had $20 on her by the time that thing was done. People were going
right in
ham
the
for it.
kneecap.
I mean, I would love to do more now that I think about it. Like earlobe to the head or something. I don't know, man. Just something wild. So I was like, I gotta make this worth it.
Unfold the staple gun. Just
Could you have stapled it to her head?
She said just no, everywhere was fine, but like she was like obviously like my eyes, my cheeks, and my vagina. Like that's off. That's off. Other than that, she was like everywhere else. I should have did the bottom of her foot.
Someone's getting their butthole stapled shut.
Dude, I mean, I can't remember. I mean, most people were like timid and they went up there and did her leg, and I was like, no, man, go for the gusto. She gave you the green light. Like, you know what I mean?
I couldn't do it.
Later in the show, that lady dances and all that, and then she was like, we got a special occasion, blah, 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 at the end of the night and all that. And this girl's fucking mom came out to dance. She had been doing it, and that's how she got into.
I would take a stapled her.
This lady claims to have the biggest tits in Texas, right? And dude, I mean, she has like a huge set of boobs, and she's like old, kind of saggy, and she like did this dance to this Alice Cooper "Welcome to My Nightmare" song.
Of course, it was Alice Cooper.
Yeah, dude, and she had like the Y incision painted on her and all that. Dude, it was a fucking weird experience. I actually have a picture on my Instagram of that lady. I can't remember what her name was, but. That was another that was same tour as the Guns. That
was a wild ass tour, man.
Dude, it really was. I felt like it was the heat. Like it was the middle of fucking June, July in the desert. Like people get weird when they get too hot like that.
All right, so top 3 shows not that you've played,
right?
But top 3 shows of bands that you've seen. Basically forever, like what's
like
the top,
that I've attended.
Yeah, that you're just kind of like I'll never forget the show.
Top 3 shows. Damn, dude. Out of all of them, that's a pretty tough one. You know, I would have to say for sure one. Honestly, it was a recent one I just seen. Me, my son, and my girlfriend went to Minneapolis to see Wu-Tang and Nas. And dude, the production was fucking incredible. They nailed it, and the set list was sick. None of them are too old to where it sucks. Like, it was, I've seen a lot of shows in my life, and that shit was fucking sick, dude. It was so good. It was worth every little fucking cent I spent on it.
Nice.
I think, and sometimes hip-hop shows, like, kind of suck. Because, like, the backtracking isn't loud enough and all that. I think another memorable show for me as a kid, growing up, I don't know, man, because there's some, that's a legitimately hard question.
Right.
I mean, memorable for me was obviously the first time I ever got to see Converge play. That was like.
Was that the U Family tour?
Yeah, when they played the Ranch Bowl, when they played with the lights on.
Yeah,
and like
I bounced that show. Yeah. That was the first time I saw him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That show
that was on my list.
Was fucking incredible, man. Like that set.
The amount of like sweat and like how much they poured into that show.
Dude, it was legit, and just like the energy of wanting to finally get to see him and going off and all that. You know, like fuck.
Remember being in the door between the doorways between the bar and the venue spot where they had the merch table.
Yeah.
I remember Jacob coming out after the show and like he just looked drained and took his shirt off and then wringed his shirt out. All this sweat.
I bet, dude. People were going off. I mean, that's like a smaller venue. You know, it was like perfect for it. And I love that they turned the house lights on and didn't play with no stage lights. Yeah, that made it even like cooler.
It was. Everybody was either. I mean, even the bar. There wasn't nobody drinking and back to the show. Like everybody was just. Present and
dude, it was like everybody was engaged.
Yep.
trying to think of maybe another one, dude. It'd be tough because I can think of like honorable mentions, but then it'd be like, oh, was that really my favorite and all that? You know, I don't know. And it's just like some artists you love, and whether or not like maybe the show was as dazzling as another one, you might have loved that one. I know, like if it came down to it, I couldn't remember, and it ended up not being a top 3. For me, one of my favorite shows I've ever seen was I got to see, who was it? I'm having a brain fart now. Mm-hmm. I got to see, I'm brain farting now because I'm thinking of every fucking show I ever got to see.
What do you think about it? What was your top 3?
I went to Mayhem Fest in 2009.
I bet that was kind of cool.
That was pretty great.
So what bands were on that?
Oh man, there were so many. Atreyu was there. I like them. 3 Inches of Blood.
Oh yeah.
I did get pissed off by Rob Zombie, because that I was really excited to go to the show,
right?
And so
I hear that he's not very good live. That's all I've ever heard.
I've heard different though.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard he's actually really good.
I heard when people say when he was in White Zombie it sucked.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe it's 2010. Anyway, but I'm really excited, so I'm looking up all the bands, looking at videos and interviews and stuff, and they're like, and I understand, like, it's not always fun.
Right.
But they're like, what are you most excited about for the show? And he's like, I'm excited about getting it over with. I'm excited about not standing on stage in 110 degrees.
Yeah,
and like,
that's an old guy move.
I get it. Like, I understand.
You're a performer, man. That's what you're paid to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all these people that are paying money to come see you, you could, I don't know, mention them. You know,
right.
I'm excited about the fans screaming at me. You know, anything like that. But no, he just wanted to bitch.
Jaded. Just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think that'd be a good time to like pack it in.
Yeah. Other than that, though, that was one of my favorites. I don't know, man. I had a lot of fun when I went and saw Trivium.
Yeah, I hear they're like pros, dude.
Yeah, they're really good.
I hear they're like super tight. You know, like they put on a good show. I mean, that's another thing. I've seen a lot of bands who are like I don't necessarily love or anything like that. I've just been working the show or been there. And being like, I'm not a fan of this band, but they're really fucking good. Whoever paid to watch this band has got their money worth.
Stage presence and fun, though. I think the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Avatar. Yeah,
they just played at the Admiral. Is that when you went and watched them? Because I know because I drive by that all the time, and I know that I seen their name on the marquee. I remember the van out and stuff.
Have you heard them or anything?
I've just seen, like, I didn't even know who they were. You mentioned that. I'm like, oh yeah, that was that band.
I really
that, like, a bunch
them.
of people were outside for.
Dude, Starset's pretty fun to see in concert too. The music isn't like super heavy or anything, but like the drummer's in this plexiglass box with fucking lights and stuff. Like it's pretty cool.
My top 3, Mr. Bungle for the 99 Californication
Holy
tour.
Holy shit, really?
That was the first time I was awestruck of seeing a singer, anybody perform in front of me. So seeing Mike Patton that close.
Yeah, I could see that.
And not having like a big stadium or something. That was just like, holy fuck, he's right there.
Yeah.
Second was probably that Converge show, but unfortunately I got to work it.
Not enjoy it.
Yeah, not enjoy it too much, but I didn't give a fuck. I stayed inside the door. I watched that show.
Yeah, I watched I would have.
And then probably the third one, and it's not like there's a lot of other memorable shows, but this one stands out the most, I think, of though. But when Behemoth came and played in the Ranch Bowl in the
bowling alley, when they suffocation, cattle decapitation,
cattle decap, Behemoth, and like
there was a band called The Devil Inside. They're from Minneapolis. Like I had some buddies that were in that band.
That show the whole time, it was so bizarre seeing all those bands play, and it wasn't there. But we say bowling alley, they actually played
in the
fucking lanes almost.
Yeah, dude.
It was insane.
We built a stage.
Yeah,
me and my buddy Johnny had to help set that show up. We were the loaders for the day.
Yeah,
and they double booked it. And there was a show called.
I can't remember if I was working there at the time or if it was.
I don't think you were working that day. Even if you were, I don't think you were working that day.
I remember getting a little tipsy and stuff at that show, and was just so like awestruck watching like almost the entire original lineup of Suffocation.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Frankie and the drummer and everybody was
dude,
in that.
On a fucking mini ass stage when they're used to playing 400 or 500 people venues.
And I can't remember if it was them or Behemoth. They blew out the PA system.
It was Behemoth did because we had to fucking reline up some new monitors while they were doing changeover.
Yeah. So and just seeing Behemoth before,
and Behemoth was a 3-piece. For that show, they were only a 3-piece. Because it was Inferno, it was Orion, and then Nurgle. It was just them 3.
I thought, really? Because I thought.
Unless, no, there was 4, but Nurgle was on the floor in front of everybody.
Yes, yeah.
Because they had the spike fucking boots for that set, dude.
Yeah, well, because he still had his long hair and everything.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Yeah, so,
you're right.
But,
the spike boots.
They were playing so fucking heavy and stuff, and like
Dude,
all of a sudden it crunched, and they
just
had to
blew
take a
out.
second. And
I looked back, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Man.
So
You smell it.
I think everybody was standing going like, don't stop playing, but what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, dude.
And they took a second because I remember when you got to switch everything out, they're just kind of like, they start talking to the crowd, and they were just kind of like, well, we've never played in a fucking bowling alley.
Let alone in the middle. I mean, they're from Poland, let alone like, in America, a fucking bowling alley in Nebraska out of all places.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, man. There wasn't a ton of people there, but the people there were just kind of like so blown away.
Yeah, dude.
By that show. It was.
Well, that's like, okay, so the scenario with that, the reason why they played in the bowling alley is because we were loading in the show, and there was this band called The Secret Machines at that point in time, and another band called The Moving Units, and they were like kind of bigger indie rock bands. Like The Secret Machines was going to be on like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever it was, like later that week, and so they had sold more tickets, and so they were like, well, we're going to keep that show in the venue, and then we're just going to find and all that where they're going to play. And there was volleyball leagues going on that night, so they couldn't couldn't put it in snookers. So they were like, we're just gonna have to build a stage out here. And I remember the dudes in Suffocation showed up, and they're like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, dude, I really like your band, but just know I'm trying to figure this out. I didn't book the show, but I'm trying to figure this out because in my mind I was like, I just want to watch you play. Fuck everybody else. Like I want this experience.
Everybody that came to that show gave 0 fucks of where they played. They just wanted to see it.
I think it was like a cool atmosphere. You show up and you weren't expecting that, and everybody's like, "Well, just take it in stride. This is sick. Like you're never gonna experience anything like that ever again."
No, never. I've seen a lot of house shows and stuff. We were talking earlier about seeing Skinless
in a
Mortician in a basement.
Nuts. Dude.
So the bass player that's in The Faint was in a local death metal band called Lead. Well, similar situation with the Ranch Ball that was this show was booked, got canceled because it was overbooked. The whole venue got overbooked or some shit. Well, the dude in that band was like, "Fuck that, we're just gonna play in my basement." So I saw like these like national like death metal acts playing a fucking basement, and it was just super wild. But yeah, I've seen a lot of like really weird, random, like super heavy bands and just random spots.
All right, I had to Google it because I had a brain fart, and now I can remember it. Okay, so my I think one of my top favorite shows and all that is I got to see Diana Ross play at the Stir, and for like, I mean, oddly enough, if it just doesn't seem like it, I absolutely love Diana Ross.
Yeah,
like her music, yeah, dude. She played all the fucking hits. Like she played all her own songs. She played all the Supreme songs. She was like, I think she's in her 60s or 70s. But they played, she played on this like Motown's like 50th anniversary thing and all that earlier that year, and she sounded great. And then I seen she was coming through, and I was like, this is my chance to see her because it was only like $50. I mean, you're talking about like a living legend,
yeah,
dude.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I think if I had an opportunity to go see something like that, or like another person that's come through and is still touring, which is fucking insane because he's almost 100 years old.
Willie Nelson.
Willie, yeah. Dude.
Yeah. So, my job, like where I work, Ink Tank, we do a lot of promotional tour services, things like that for touring bands and all that. They actually have an account and they do the Luck reunion every year. Like Willie Nelson has like a big ass ranch he calls Luck Ranch, and he has like a big show, and it was literally like 2 weeks ago, and he does it every year, and it's like a big festival, and he headlines it and he plays, and it's like a whole thing. There's like Tyler Childers, like all these like big name people, Sierra Farrell.
I really like Tyler Childers a lot.
Yeah, like they all play that stuff, play it and all that, and he headlines every year, and everybody says like even though he's old, man, it still sounds really good. This year he had Kermit with him, like he sang a song with Kermit, opened up. But
just the thought that he had that like active for a little bit there with Cash, man. I mean, like that dude is a legend.
Yeah, dude, he is. It's crazy how old he is and all that. It's like I never got like into like Willie Nelson's music, but he's like one of those people that like I highly respect because he's always been like. He's never been a turd, like he's always been himself. He's played his own music, and he's always been like respected even by country fans, like over like, and he was like the long-haired hippie guy, which most of those people fucking degrade. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So unfortunately, but my dad's dad loved Willie Nelson.
Really?
So
my dad loved Willie Nelson.
Really?
A lot too,
That's tight. I mean, his earlier stuff, like like how we talked about last time. Like I liked a lot of like the 50s, 60s country stuff. I can get down with that. But so like that era of Willie Nelson, I'm familiar with.
My favorite Willie Nelson is when he did the song with Ray Charles, Seven Spanish Angels.
Dude, I don't
really
even know if I've ever heard that. That's Ray Charles is another guy that's an incredible musician.
Yeah, check that song out sometime.
I should. I would. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, what are? I guess that's a good avenue of top 3 shows. Is what are 3 artists you can think of at the top of your head that you wouldn't think people would think that you like, just by their appearance. They know your personality. They know all that, because that's a very interesting thing I feel like about people. It's like you look at somebody. Obviously, like I'm covered in tattoos and all that. I used to play in a metal band. A lot of people just think I like shit like that when I like a lot more, probably more than I like the metal. You know what I mean, for the most part.
I don't know. Like I love like 80s music.
Yeah.
Even like the glam metal and stuff. But
yeah, we talked about you didn't like the yacht rock though.
Yeah, but I also I don't know. Like one of my favorite songs is fucking.
Now you know, man.
I like "Call Me Al."
Okay.
I love that song.
Right. Okay.
And another song that I like that people wouldn't probably believe is "Hook" by Blues Traveler.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I was talking.
I seen Blues Traveler play one time.
The guy that called, Randy. I was talking to him at work today, and I was like, "Blues Traveler Hook is one of those songs that no matter what kind of shitty day I'm having, if I hear that song, I feel better.
You're jigging. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel better. But
so Blues Traveler. Who else?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, man. I got a lot of respect for the Biebs.
Bieber?
As far as
Dude,
like how hard he worked.
Don't get me started.
And,
I love it.
Supposedly, I don't know if it was clickbait, but I don't know if I talked about this last week on the podcast, but supposedly he's calling out P. Diddy and Will Smith. They made him eat their ass.
Yeah,
become famous.
There's a bunch of stuff. Well, P. Diddy got tagged with a bunch of shit like that because people have been saying it for years, and then they're finally listening.
Yeah. And that Despacito song is catchy as shit.
Dude, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. I've argued with people for years because they like always shit on him for being like a kid and all that. It is Justin Bieber's Purpose album. That album Purpose is one of the best pop albums that's ever been written, dude.
Yeah. And
from start to finish, it is fucking fantastic.
And if New Kids on the Block come on the fucking radio, I'm not changing it.
I mean, I like pop music in general, but
so that was 3. So Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Who else was it?
Blues Traveler.
Blues Traveler. But that's the only Blues Traveler song that I like. But yeah. And probably. Yeah, just I don't know. I like so much different weird shit.
It's hard when you're like an eclectic music
taste. You listened to earlier, but JT, Justin Timberlake.
Dude, Justin Timberlake, fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal
a lot of people look at me and
artist.
they're just like, "What? This is on your playlist? Get the fuck out of here!"
You're like, "Fuck yeah, you listen to this guy sing?"
I'm like, who doesn't like JT?
Right.
I'll rock NSYNC. I don't care.
Yeah, me too.
So, and then I guess the second one would be probably. A lot of people, I don't know. I like the Gorillaz.
You like the Gorillaz? Thunder does too.
Yeah, I can't help it. I didn't mind Blur a little bit, but I like the Gorillaz. So
it's a different taste, and it's well done. I mean, they're well done.
And then a lot of people probably don't know. Besides, like I said earlier, like Willie Nelson, but I like Sinatra.
You like Frank Sinatra?
Yeah. One of my favorite songs is "Fly Me to the Moon."
Yeah. My grandmother, my mom's mom,
my girl does
got
too,
me
man.
on Sinatra and stuff. Growing up, she'd be cleaning or something, and she'd be listening to Frank, and she'd be.
I think a lot of that, when you're a kid, you just absorb stuff, and then you grow like a love for it.
It's true.
You're like not judgmental at that time. It's just either background music, and you hear it. Like, that sounds cool.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger and stuff, to like sleep or like when I draw and stuff, I listen to classical music and shit too. So, like my spectrum of music is like literally everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I could listen to Moonlight Sonata pretty much all day.
It's classic, man. And like. Stuff like that becomes timeless, It's hard to get annoyed by when it was like meant to be played for like easy listening in a sense.
All right, so top 3 letdown shows you've been to.
Oh,
ooh,
yeah, we'll get it.
Laserfest.
I got one right off the bat.
Okay, Laserfest, and I'm gonna tell a quick story here. I know we're out of time, but I went there and Queensrÿche was supposed to play, and I think it was the night that the bass player for Slipknot died.
Paul.
Yeah, but I don't think they were playing, but they were there in Des Moines, and but anyway, Queens of the Stone Age, and they were supposed to play, and because they didn't show up,
was Dave supposed to be playing with them? Dave Grohl, was he their drummer at that time?
I can't remember, but it was like 2013.
Yeah,
and
I don't think he was then.
Yeah, so
that
but
was in the 2000s.
Yeah,
but they were gonna play and they didn't. They couldn't make it for whatever reason. I can't even remember why. But so instead, they had fucking 3 days grace do a double set. And security tried making me stop flipping them off. No, fuck you.
Dude, yeah.
Get kicked out of a show for flipping the band.
Like, I
hate
stood
the
with my
most out.
back to the stage and both middle fingers.
Dude, I mean,
up
other
for,
countries used to throw shit at people until they were done playing. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's a known thing in like Germany and stuff.
So that show was a pretty big fucking letdown.
Okay. So
And then, I guess the band that never made it just because they weren't big enough. The venue wasn't as big as they thought it was going to be. But the dude from Five Finger Death Punch used to sing for this band named Motor Grader.
Oh yeah.
And my band was supposed to play a show with Motor Grader.
Oh yeah.
And
they fucking bitched out.
And they bitched out. Yeah, and they said our drummer's sick, he can't do it. And then they played a show the next night. So I was like,
maybe
fuck
he
you
had a
guys.
24-hour bed.
Yeah, it was a little shitty venue. And I won't even call it shitty because I had fun playing there. I'm sorry I said shitty, but Dr. Jack's, man.
Oh, yeah,
and, You probably played there?
No, yeah, I did. I could see how a band of that status would be like, we're not playing here, though. I mean, I don't even know if their gear would fit. You know what I mean?
I don't know, though, because they were there and they said they were going to do it. You know, like they...
I'm sure they think they're a lot bigger in their mind than they really are.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
I mean,
So that... They kind of let me down, I think. But
they had a video on MTV, too.
But my friend's band, the same thing happened with the stupid, and I've never liked them, but Buck Cherry.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
they were supposed to play it was Wired or Shamrocks or whatever.
Yeah.
At the big outside stage. And and they got a little bit of rain at like 10 o'clock this morning, so they canceled.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
And,
fuck that shit.
But,
that's a bitch move.
But yeah,
I mean, fuck Buck Cherry, but that's a bitch move.
Yeah, fuck Buck Cherry. And then I guess so. I guess I'll call those my three.
Yeah, those 3 letdowns.
My first one was the show we were talking about earlier.
We were just right when we bowled up.
Yeah. Vision of Disorder. There was an album that they
I'll
put out.
second that one.
Yeah. They played this show. This was what 2000 somewhere in there.
Probably like 2000, 2001. It had to have been right there in there.
So they basically made a transition from a hardcore New York band to I don't know,
like a Roadrunner band. Like all the Roadrunner bands end up
like
sounding
basically
like that.
just
Like a new metal band in a way.
Yeah. So they played this full album. They played this album from its entirety, and we're just kind of like, okay, that's cool. Well, they're starting to play this breakdown from one of their old hardcore songs, and everybody's starting to go fucking like the vibe was just
losing it.
Everybody was just like,
you could tell everybody been waiting for that. Shit.
Turning up to a 10. They fucking stopped the breakdown, and then all right, we're from New York. Good night. And I literally out loud went, "What the fuck? Are you kidding me?" And that was it. They just like the band members like looked at each other like, "Yeah, that's it." And like,
that's shitty,
dude. So pissed. That's still to this day. If I ever seen those guys like in like the singer or something, I'd be like, "Yo, fuck you, man!" And they'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, you remember this fucking show, dude? You know, like everybody came here to see some hardcore shit. And you played this fucking. I mean, it's not bad. It wasn't bad. Like that.
Dude, they didn't get any new fans from that album. Everybody who was there liked them for all the albums they played before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think. So one of my other favorite bands is a post-hardcore band from a bunch of other members from like Cro-Mags and a bunch of like hardcore bands and like Quicksand and stuff. A band called Handsome.
Yeah,
not Handsome.
I know them.
They played a show, and I've seen them probably 3 or 4 times at the Ranch Bowl. They played the venue quite a bit. And I remember at the show, and it wasn't even so much that the show was shitty, it was the interaction with the guitar player that was like super shitty that made me kind of go like, all right, that was like a super letdown moment. But I was talking about like how I love Quicksand, and he's like, oh, well, what's your favorite song on this album?
Right.
And I just got the album. I didn't know the song titles or anything, but I was starting to kind of think like, well, it was a song about laying in bed and thinking about stuff.
Right.
I couldn't remember the name of the song, and he kind of went, oh yeah, okay, cool, see you later. Like he didn't
just fucking shouldered you.
Yeah, basically, cool guy. Me like,
get out of here.
Yeah. And then I think the third letdown was probably, I think it was some kind of like Rockfest festival, but it was a stacked show, like Static X and a whole bunch of.
Was it Test
like,
Fest?
It was at
West Fair.
West Fair.
Did it get rained out? Lightning struck the
yeah.
fucking. I was gonna bring that one up.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, it was.
So like there was a couple bands there. I can't remember. There was a couple heavy ass bands that were
before all
the
the scandal. Marilyn Manson was supposed to play. He was supposed to be one of the headliners, and I was looking forward to that.
Yeah,
shit.
and I basically I named the top 3 favorite bands that I've seen, but one of the other, if I could lump it into the top 3, was Manson, the original lineup playing. I think Clutch opened up for them. The Ranch Bowl.
Really?
Well, this is before
Fucking
Manson
Clutch.
started painting his face and all that shit. Had like long jet black hair and stuff. Well, like there's a moment in that set and stuff where he had like the entire crowd fucking spit on him.
Ugh.
It was the grossest shit ever.
Nope,
I mean,
out.
seeing fucking like
I'm not good with
spit flying everywhere.
Nope,
and,
I'm out. I'm
like
out
hitting
with
them and
spit.
shit. But like, that show was just seared in my brain of just like I got to see these guys, the original lineup.
Yeah, I mean. Portrait of an American Family is a fucking killer album.
A lot of people are saying like Antichrist Superstar.
I mean, it's good. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That one's good too. But Portrait's better.
Portrait, yeah.
You don't like it? Dude, Portrait's sick.
I just the spit. I can't get.
Oh, the spit. Yeah, no, dude.
It was fucking
gross,
dude. Well, so there was a couple guys that had a show on the local O2 station or whatever that was God damn it! It was
Secondary Mission.
Yeah,
you talking about that? Yeah,
those two
Todd
guys
and whatever his name was.
Yeah. So like, I actually met those guys and I did a cool guy moment, like, "Hey, give me some free shit." And they just go, or whatever.
I love that show. As a
but
kid.
I walked back up to him and talked. I was like, "I'm just fucking with you guys, man. I love your show." And I actually got friended up with the camera guy, the camera guy, Buddha.
Yeah, Buddha.
So
and
he was
and somebody else. They were UNO students, right?
So he used to be a bartender down at T. Henry's.
Oh,
so
okay.
Me and a bunch of guys at Big Brain when we used to work there, friended up with them, and he gave me a VHS tape of something he recorded, and he couldn't air this video and stuff, but it was an interview with Marilyn Manson at that fucking show.
Oh, yeah, because they used to interview the bands during the day before the show.
Yeah, so those guys were fucking with those guys so much that they couldn't use the footage or anything. Well, like one of the guys, like, they pulled out a fire extinguisher and blowing it
below
where they couldn't see.
Yeah.
And like I think Twiggy turned around and started pissing in a cup, and one of the other guys drank it and didn't realize it was piss. Yeah. So we had this all on tape because they couldn't do anything with it. So, and I think it was like almost a Halloween show. So they're everybody was dressed up and shit. It was pretty cool. Tight. Anyway, so you're 3, and then we'll be done.
I don't know if I have 3, but I can think of one, and I will forever hold it. So one of my all-time favorite bands in their earlier part of their career is a band called AFI. Okay. I 2 years before the pandemic, I think it was like 2017, 2018. They were on tour, this Blood tour, and I kind of followed their tour every day. So there's a thing called setlistfm.com, right, where you can go and you can look up tours coming through, and you can see the set list the band's playing, and people, anybody can enter it in. And I was looking it up, and people were entering it in, and they were entering their set list every night. And it was like 18, 19 song set list, and over half of the songs were like classic AFI songs, like before they kind of made their change of their sound and all that. And I was like, this is sick. I mean, they were playing songs from like the first album and shit that I love. And it was going to be tight. And I followed this tour every day, and I collectively wrote down all the songs that I liked from every show and kind of averaged it out. I'm like, okay, out of a 17 song set, they're playing at least 9 to 10 songs that are classic, like legit bangers. And this is going to be sick. And I followed them. They were supposed to play outside at this like Sumter Amphitheater in La Vista, and they didn't sell enough tickets or something like that, so they moved it to the Sokol upstairs. It was still the Sokol at that time. And I get there, and they play the show and all that. And when they played, it's like an off day. They played Kansas City the night before, and I looked at that show, and they even played songs in the Kansas City show that they hadn't played all tour yet, like He Who Laughs Last, Secret File, File 13, The Secret and shit. So, and then ones from Black Sails in the Sunset, all that, dude, they were ripping them out. Shit from from the All House EP, everything I fucking love at that point. And they play the Omaha show, and they play nothing but new songs.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me!
They played 2 old songs off of The Art of Drowning, and that was it. They played Ever in a Day and then Morning Star, and that was it.
Man.
I was so heartbroken.
Super shitty.
I was so heartbroken because that was one of my favorite. There's an era of that's one of my favorite bands ever, and I just felt so heartbroken. And that I don't know if any shows ever let me down more to where I could compare them to that, because I was like, I mean, the VOD show that he mentioned, they were one of the bands that helped me get into hardcore, so that was a big bummer. But I mean, yeah, dude, because other bands I had waited for so long to see usually fucking rip it out. I mean, I remember when I seen the Deftones play at the Knotfest, it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
there's a band I've seen more than a dozen times, and I think the last time I watched those guys was at a Sokol show, and I can't remember. They opened up for somebody really big.
Mm-hmm.
I walked out and walked back to the Brain.
Whoa!
Like I was so
AFI?
Deftones.
The Deftones.
I was so unimpressed. And
I can see that. Probably when they were on their era, when everybody was on drugs. I'm sure it sucked. I'm sure it sucked because he's even talked about that in in interviews. How he's like, we were fucking terrible at that point.
I walked out and was just. I think this is before Chino got in his accident.
Or before Chi, the bass player,
Chi.
Yeah, because when I seen him, he was still in a coma.
Yeah, so I walked out of that show and was just like, fuck this, and I went back to work. I'd rather have gone.
Yeah, that would have bummed me out because they were also like their earlier records was another like I was only like 7, 8, 9 years old when I got into them, and they were like another band that was new that got me into like music in general. So that would have bummed me the fuck out too, dude.
Well, I know you got to split. I mean, we could talk all night, but
all night,
all night.
Yeah, but that was a lot of fun again. I'm sure we'll talk about more stuff, and it probably won't be all about band shit, but that's just kind of
I mean, I did it for a long time. There's a lot of funny shit. Yeah. Trust me, there's a lot of weird shit.
I wanna have a segment called Josh's Stories from the West.
Dude,
no shit.
I bet I could dig up some more. I bet I could dig up some more for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the Southeast is a little weird. We could probably get into that, like Florida, Georgia, Alabama area, Louisiana. I had some shit in Louisiana. It was kind of weird too.
Well, you'll be back on, right?
I'll be back, dude.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'm gonna set a goal. I'm gonna be the most repeated offender.
So do you wipe from the right or the left side when you're like taking those dumps and
your headphone dumps,
dude? I actually, I guess, topic that's really strong accord with other people. I stand up to wipe. I knew it. And
that's about all the time.
I knew it. I took a poll on the internet one time. I know a few other standards.
You wet wipe or do you just?
I mean, I wet wipe when necessary. But, like, here's the thing is everybody thinks when you stand up, you, like, mash your ass cheeks together to mash shit in between your cheeks. And I'm going to tell you that does not happen.
Well, I'll say this, though. If anybody ever says there wasn't an instance where they should have wet wiped, they're a liar.
Right.
Like everybody's got
at least an experience where they should have wet wiped and didn't.
I mean, I guess I don't stand completely up. I'm more of in a squat position.
Like a hunched
like a
wiper.
hunch, yeah, just barely off the seat a little bit. But I don't get how people want to wipe like either from the side. I feel like I can't get in there good enough, and I'm not coming from back to front.
That's kind of a side back like
that's
motion.
What Eric said, but like I couldn't do it from the back to the front either, because then you're just wiping shit over the back of your balls, and that's fucked up too.
It's true. All right, we'll get back to that shit. But anyways,
stand to wipe. How many other people?
The Power Dub Podcast, episode 16.
Yeah.
Is it 16?
Yeah, 16.
Nice. Sweet 16.
And thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, man.
Again?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, too.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then, so, I don't know if you can be down with this, but we'll get Roach up here since he's at the house.
Dude. Yeah. We could get his big ass up in here.
Yeah. So it'll be all of us hunched in here talking about
he's a whole lot of man.
Music and games.
He's big into movies.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of personality. He's a good dude.
Love that dude. Yeah. All right, man.
Good shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
And have a great week, night, whatever.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Touch yourself.
Touch yourself.